Hi, everybody. Good evening. This is Shubho here, CEO of Success Zante. Today we have a very exciting guest with us, and then I'm actually personally very excited to interview her. And recently I met her, and she deals with a very unique area of entrepreneurship. He's a business coach for ladies, right? But of course, she doesn't limit herself in that way. But she has been helping so many female entrepreneurs, and as Winston Churchill said, "Give me an educated mother, I will give you an educated nation." And I recently met her, and then I realized that the knowledge she has to share, it has a lot of value. So that's why I invited her. So I'm gonna give back in 3 minutes. People are gathering right now. So then we will start our interview in 3 minutes. I'll see you guys. Yes, we are back. Hello. So you have already met today's guest. So hi, Senela, how are you?
Hi, Shivo. I'm absolutely excited to be here. Thank you for your invitation.
Welcome to the show. So this is Real Talk with Shubho, and everything we share here is very real, and we keep it real, right? And I know when it comes to women entrepreneurship, you have been doing a lot of work, impacting so many lives. And in fact, our Success Ante, we also believe in impacting lives. That's why we do what we do. And thank you very much for joining us this evening. And I'm really looking forward to a very interesting conversation with you. Great.
Thanks so
So
much for
before I
having me.
No problem. And so before I go in, we'll start the conversation. I would like to introduce our today's eminent guest. So she's a founder and CEO of Women Empower Global and managing director of Diverse Consultants, founder, chairperson of We Know Global Academy, co-founder of Personal Agility Systems in Sri Lanka, board of directors at Macquarie Rails Global Consultancy, former country head for British firm headquarters in UK with the background of HR marketing and global branding, CRM and global business and business performance. She has trained teams from World Bank, United Nations, multinationals, as well as so many SMEs, right? And she's an eminent speaker. She has spoke so many different countries, more than 20 over countries, and she's the so Senela is Sri Lanka's first and only certified practitioner on the 6IS of innovation, which is amazing. Now she is the president of the African Women Leadership Forum and delegate of U.S. Presidential Service Center. Wow, I mean that's very impressive. So and she has been mentioned in one of the book of Women Going Global. Wow. And in November 16, 2020, right, during Global Entrepreneurship Week in USA. Now, when I mentioned about awards, what she has received, there's a list of awards. I'll just mention a few over here. So she's a recipient of Exceptional Woman of Excellence on World Economic Forum on 2018. And then again in 2018, Woman Icon Asia Award from Business Excellence and Research Group in Singapore. In 2017, on World Economic Forum, Iconic Woman Creating a Better World for All, and awarded special recognition plaque for the GSEW, which is Global Society of Empowered Women in New York, USA. I mean, this is like really impressive. And then not only that, she's an ICF transformation and a high performance coach, as well as certified coach for team culture and leadership transformation through innovation, skills, mindset. As a leadership trainer and certified coach, she has worked with over 15,000 individuals in day to help them tap into their hidden potential and face their fear. So this is so impressive. I mean, and apart from that, right? So I've been talking to Senela, and then I realized that how big of a giving person she is, and she loves to help people. And when I asked her to join our talk show, she immediately said, "Yes, sure. If I can contribute in any way, I will definitely do." So Senela, again, let me welcome you to the forum and to the talk. And so my first question was, I was going to ask you about what is coaching, right? But I think after reading the profile, my first question is, how do you manage your time doing all these things?
How do I manage my time? Wow. Thank you so much. First thing I would say is time management is actually an integral part of my coaching program. I'm going to start off with a little bit of a challenging quote here, challenging paradigm. People say work-life balance is something that is so achievable. It's a solution. It's the answer to everything. But I'm here to tell you that you may have heard about this work-life balance. That's not really what the focus ought to be. It's about work-life integration. How realistic is it, Shivo, for me as a working mother to go into my office, close the door behind me and be like, hey, I don't have to think about the home. I don't have to think about what's for dinner. I don't have to think about my daughter. But no, I'm still thinking about her. I'm still a mom. I'm still having all these household chores and responsibilities. And I'm also thinking about business expansion. I'm thinking about global expansion, how I can make impact. So, it's a conundrum, but it's also an opportunity. So coming back to your preliminary question around coaching, I have a very interesting quote for you. Shiva, I really was excited to be on your show because of the significance and impact you're making to the business community, and which is so impressive as well. And I know that you do a lot of work with a person who I think is an idol, whom I love, and that is Tony Robbins. And I want to start off with a quote by him. And that's a quote which says, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. Right? That's a famous Tony Robbins quote. And I absolutely love that. And this is what I speak about, even in my coaching. If you ask me about time, let me tell you, everything I do today, it was a program that I developed out of my own pain, my own trials, my own struggle about trying to understand how I can play these multiple roles, how I can still achieve what I have to do and still have some sanity between my ears and not go crazy. Did I answer your question?
Right. Yes, absolutely. I mean, in fact, after reading out that profile, I missed out that you are a mother as well, full time, right? So obviously, you touched both the questions and answered very correctly. So my next question to you: what's the story behind you becoming a business coach?
Wow, I love this. Oh, I absolutely love this. The thing is this, I first want to give a definition to what business coaching is all about, for those of you who might still be new to it. And then I will relate it to what really inspired me and why I'm so passionate about what I do. Because I believe if you're passionate about what you do.
So you're going to add to that. Why do we require a business coach? Or why?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So it brings me to a very alarming statistic. I'm sure the statistic would have changed to some extent and degree, but by and large, a statistic that I recall when I first got into this space of coaching, because I saw a need which is a problem, and it was a big size of a problem, is this. Approximately 97 to 98% of the startups do not get to celebrate a second-year birthday. Now, why is that? Why is that? To want more, we must become more. So in my definition, coaching is all about, how can one take dream to desire, to idea and plan? How do you take dream to desire, to idea, to plan? Now that process on paper sounds so straightforward and easy, but I always tell people, whatever panel I speak on, business and life and relationships is like a board of snakes and ladders. It's never easy, but it's absolutely satisfying at the end. So it's a massive process and a journey. So business coaching is from taking you from that point A to point B, and you cannot do it alone. You cannot do it alone. You can do it, but you can do it so much better, so much more effectively if you have that support system, if you have that mentoring. And something I noticed from the clients that I cater to, because my area of work, I specialize in multiple markets, multiple regions and countries. I'll give you a case study. There was a lady who came to me from US, one of my clients in US, and she's an expert in the supply chain sector. She's an expert. She knows her subject matter. And this was during COVID. And she said, Senela, it's COVID. I'm feeling the impact of me having this expertise, but not having enough of controlled business. Because being an expert in supply chain, she was being subcontracted for large construction projects as a supply chain expert, but she couldn't control the outcome. She couldn't control the amount of business she could get in because she was depending on another large group. So when she came into my coaching program, what I did was I took her through this dream to desire to purpose and action plan process. And at the end of it, I helped her migrate from her mindset, from looking at her skill set to refine that into becoming an entrepreneur. How can she go from being a subcontracted supply chain expert into owning her own business and now being a CEO and more in control of the billing and the invoicing? And she came back to me after the coaching when I did the global retreat. And it was so brilliant. She said, Senela, I have been pivoting. I helped her on her vision of the decade. I helped her on her elevator pitch, and just all those little nuances. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but it takes a certain skill set and attitude and mind power to do it. So it was really exciting. So many more case studies to go with that. But in essence, that's really what business coaching is about.
So next part of the question. So why did you started doing business coaching?
Wow. So it really is a personal story, Shubho. I'm going to be vulnerable and share this because I know, some people out there who hear the story. Our story is our truth. And I'm sure it could inspire even one person out there who might have faced a similar experience. And I know a lot of women do and might relate to this well. So my background is multinational, it's corporate. I started my first job in advertising because I was a massive introvert. Believe it or not, what I am talking to you like this feels like a miracle. I was a massive introvert growing up. And thereafter, so my forte, starting off my career, was all about building brands. And then subsequently, I got into general management and corporate, and I started building business. And in 2017, wow, I was faced with a massive challenge. In 2017, my husband had to take a long-term work assignment away from home. And I was left with a daughter just 6 years old at the time, a little over 5.5. Now, in this situation in my life where I had this high-paying leadership responsibility job, great perks, I was doing so well. And then I just thought, oh my goodness, how do I manage a full-time job and how do I take care of my daughter? And in that moment, I remember feeling absolutely scared. I felt fear. I felt lost. And I was asking myself, what about my ambition? What about my career? But I can't look after my child and do that. And then I got into this journey of questioning myself. And also, I just want to highlight that in life, you'd notice that looking at my own life, those moments where I actually kept pivoting and pivoting, those are the moments where I got into this sort of a trend I could see where I hit a roadblock. And then I got into some powerful questioning from myself and then some repurposing around that and some clarity emerged. And then I pivoted. Again, hit a roadblock and then I pivoted. So this was one such roadblock, massive roadblock in my life that changed my life forever. I asked myself questions like, do I completely quit my full-time job? Do I find part-time? How can somebody with my particular niche skills and expertise even find a part-time job? And so these were the questions I had in my mind. And in that moment, I just knew that if I was to find a remedy, that it had to be something holistic. So it meant that I needed to own my time. And my definition of owning my time goes like this. For me, O stands for taking ownership for my time and the solution. W stands for willing to put the hard work and work into it. And N is for never give up. So there again, everything you see in my business coaching practice is stemming from my genuine problem of being a working mother and having a full-time job and having my husband suddenly get this massive change in his career where he had to move over and work somewhere else. And this inner process of getting clarity, to create a situation where I didn't just get paid for time, where I knew I had limited time, so I had to position myself to get paid for value. So that was my journey into business coaching because I realized there is a genuine need out there for working mothers, for women who are aspiring into leadership in corporate, women who are, whether they're mothers or just career women in general. It's this common conundrum. We're constantly playing multiple roles. And I saw the value that business coaching had on me because by that time, I already had about a decade of coaching experience under my belt. So I was able to use my coaching knowledge and exposure on myself. So what I did was I took all that experience, I took my vulnerability, I took my insights and I packaged it into this real authentic version and poured my heart into it. And this is the coaching program that I conduct for women around the world to date. And it's run in 20 countries around the world.
Wow, brilliant. I mean, so that means you have turned your vulnerability. There's a huge problem, so you turned it into an opportunity, and then you're in this. And I would never take you as an introvert. You just mentioned that you're an introvert. I would never think about it in that way. Wow, brilliant.
I reinvented myself, Shivo. I was, but I knew I didn't want to just be that. I wanted to be more. I wanted to socialize. I wanted to have more friends. I wanted to help more people. And, there are a lot of introverts who can do all of that being introvert, but I just knew for the calling that I had, the mission I was on, it was mission critical that I became an extrovert.
Awesome. Simply awesome. Really outstanding. Can you repeat that acronym again? OWN. What does it mean?
Oh, absolutely. So this is what I always tell people, how to own your success. O, number one, is taking ownership for your time and the solution. That's okay. O. W is willingness to put hard work, and not just hard work, but smart work as well. Awesome. And finally, the N is to never give up or give in, but only to climb up and to climb higher. So that is my mission on coaching. That's a premise.
Magnificent. So ladies and gentlemen, there you go. So if you have any question I'm in conversation with Senela. So if you have any question, please go ahead and ask. And this is your opportunity to learn from her and actually learn from on the best in the country and internationally as well. And so my next question to you, okay, women are good in multitasking. Does that make them a better entrepreneur?
I love this.
I don't know. I should be asking this question, but anyhow, anyhow I'm going to ask and learn from you. What do you think?
That question, I love that question. I've never been asked this question before. Isn't that crazy? Quite like you've asked it.
We want to make it real.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So this brings to mind this quote I came across. There are people in this world, I have this quote right here because this is the quote that I refer to a lot. There are people in this world who spend every day making important decisions, troubleshooting, refereeing fights, and nursing egos, and doing damage control and multitasking. They are called mothers.
Got it. Okay.
That's my answer right there. Whether what I tell people is there are two types of. See, I believe every woman works. Every woman works, whether she's at home or whether she's in corporate, whether she's in boardroom, she's still working. The difference is that some of us get paid while others are not. So that is something under the women's empowerment agenda we are actually trying to, sort of push forward to make sure that women are, appreciated and they're recognized for all these beautiful roles. I mean, as mothers, there are so many mothers out there. Gosh, I think even in my own house, I mean, after my mom retired, she's still pretty much wearing the pants in the house because she's calling the shots, she's making the decisions for the family. So.
So I thought when you're describing, I thought you're going to talk about a gladiator, but no, you said a woman. Okay. So when you're describing, but it's so true. Some get paid and some they don't get paid. Yes. So Hasini said, awesome. So she loves your reply. And okay, if you have any question, please go ahead and ask. And okay, my next question to you. Okay, so tell us about your Women Empowerment Global and this diverse consultancy firm. Tell us about it. And what is their mission? What are you doing? So share that with us.
Oh, absolutely. So Women Empower Global, you can check it out at womenempoweredglobal.com. That's the academy. So basically there it's a global platform and we focus on empowering women across the world through showcasing them, running recognition programs for them, conducting business education programs for them with free master classes and some mentoring programs. We have chapters for women in Africa, mentoring programs. Mentoring goes a long way. So it's a global platform to support women in STEM, new to management, that kind of thing. The focus is about letting women know that they are not alone. It takes a village to be successful, and the ecosystem is there. Because growing up into leadership, even in my own journey, looking back in hindsight, I didn't have a company like that. I didn't have a mentor like that. My mentors were very passive. My mother was my unofficial mentor. She didn't even know she was unconsciously influencing me, because back in the 80s, I'm 80s born, and she was always there in corporate, and she was doing so well, performing in such a male-driven industry. And that was sort of challenging me to challenge the status quo, to believe that there is more to women than the limiting roles that gender norms are putting down. But, so that is what Women Empowered Global is all about. Helping women recognize their voice and potential, and we take them through the showcasing projects, making sure women have the visibility that they deserve for the good work they do. And how we've done this is we have an assessment. So basically, anybody who wants to join our membership and our network, we would first run them through the assessment, and based on the stage and level they're at right now, we put them into different programs that we have arranged for them. Just to run through a few programs, we have the African Women Leadership Forum. We have a presence in across 26 countries worldwide. So you can see why some of our platforms are so segmented, and it's catering to that particular niche or that particular segment. So we have the African Women Leadership Forum. We have something called the Business Mingle, Women at Work. We have a Facebook community of over 1,200 plus women from easily over 30 countries. So it's a really diverse and inclusive group. Then we also have a column called Heart Talk. That's the female leaders Heart Talk. We showcase women from around the world where other women who want to aspire can learn from. We have a talk show called the Happy Hour. We have a podcast. We have a global speaker series. So it's really exciting. You can go check it out at Women EMPSL on the Sri Lanka Instagram page, and Women EMP Global for the global Instagram page. So it's exciting stuff.
So how do Sri Lankan female entrepreneurs, they will get in touch with them? They can just go
Absolutely.
to the website and register themselves?
Yes. So the first thing to do is go to www.womenempoweredglobal.com/contact us. Just go to the homepage, search for the contact button, and it would give you an instant drop-down menu. It's really user-friendly and easy. It'll quickly get you up to speed. You can register.
I just shared the website on this thing on our chat. So on the Facebook. So please go ahead and then click onto it. And if you want to know more about her, so I have shared that as well. And okay, my last question to you. So 3 tips you want to give to a working mother, soccer mother, a soccer mom, they call it.
Wow. So what would be those 3 tips? So this is something very authentic and true to something I tell myself. I just want to remind you, nobody's perfect. I think as women, we're so, we feel that our primary purpose is to give. We're naturally givers, but I also want you to take time to push pause and give yourself a big hug, some self-care, some love, self-love. That is so important, because if you replenish yourself, your energy, and you get more clarity, then you can go out there more empowered and more inspired. But it starts by first believing in yourself and remembering you don't have to be perfect. We are all perfectly imperfect. And even in the stage that I'm in right now in my career, in my life, I'm not perfect. There are days I wake up and guess what? I don't want to show up. I feel exhausted. I feel close upon burnout. Some days I feel tired. But it's about pushing pause and recognizing that end of the day, we have blood flowing through our veins, and we have a heartbeat, and we have a mind. And it's about nurturing that and loving yourself. That's number 1. Be patient with you and love yourself. Number 2, I would say, ask for help when you need it. Personally, when I first got into leadership, I remember I had a massive ego. I didn't want to ask help from my mother-in-law. I didn't want to tell my mom that I was horrible at covering work, and being a mom, it was hard, that I always felt mom guilt, and I didn't want to go and ask help from anybody. And it took me a lot of pain and mistakes to realize that if you want to be successful, ladies, it takes a village. So establish your inner circle, go out there, look for your beautiful support system. In my support system, I have my boardroom of 5 power women. And, that's so important. I have my mother, I have my sister, I have my best friend. I have some other very close friends, some mentors. It's so important for you to have that. So be mindful about that. When you want help, remember to ask for it. And finally, my final advice would be basically, I'm going to leave you with this Tony Robbins quote again, because I'm just seeing it right here. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So my final comment to you is, remember, while we are mothers, while we are women, while we are givers, whilst we are transformational leaders, whilst we are genuine empaths and healers and nurturers, and we are so good at networking and connecting things and people and building, I want to remind you that don't forget to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. If you go out and you see something you want to buy for yourself, buy it. If you want to treat yourself to a spa, do it. Whether it's home spa, out. Invest in yourself. When you feel good about yourself, guess what? Children, they do as you do, not as you say. So the best example is to emulate the values, emulate the empowerment, emulate the confidence that you want to see in your children.
Wow. Inspiring, simply inspiring. Thank you so much. Okay, we have a question from Dilrukshi Rajapaksa, right? So she has recently become an entrepreneur. She's a good friend of mine. So she's asking, thank you, Senela. It's very interesting. When you started on your own, did you start with capital investment? If you don't have a capital, how can one should move forward?
Oh, I love that question, Dilrukshi. Firstly, I want to tell you, if you have the idea, if you're just an emerging entrepreneur, you're starting early stage, kudos to you. Big round of applause. So if you look at my own company, I have different types of businesses. So when I first started, I bootstrapped the company. Like I said, I just got out of corporate. I had a very high paying job. I had a lot of financial security. And that financial cloud is what I brought into the business, my hard-earned money. But I wish I had a mentor early on who had the proper investment skills and knowledge and the mentoring capability when it came to investing and finance and managing finances. I know today I could have invested and reaped so much more abundantly because I went into this from a different perspective. See, Dilrukshi, what I want to tell you is, if you want to do business, it takes a different set of skills and mindset. It's all about business. It's all about go-to-market. It's all about branding. But I also want to tell you another piece there is monetization. That's a massive space when it comes to female entrepreneurs. I want to tell you that women are not naturally into risk taking when it comes to finance and money. Men are more savvy and naturally into that. But if you look at us, we are fierce. We are competent. We can do it. But you need to assume that particular financial mindset. So the first thing I would tell you is, I bootstrap my company. Look at what you have. Go to the angel investors in your immediate network. It could be your father. It could be your mother. It could be your partner. Go into the circle you have immediately, low-hanging fruits, and try to get some angel seed coming in right now. But remember, people don't invest in friendships when it comes to business. People invest in the entrepreneur's credibility, inner clarity, vision, and the plan. So you better as well make sure that you've got these things under control before you go out there and do a pitch for angel seed. All right. So you have to make sure that you have very clear vision about the business plan. What is the problem it's serving? And what is your unique competitive advantage? What is the problem? How big is the problem? What is your unique competitive advantage? What are you going to do about it and how? So if you have that checklist covered, go in there, do your elevator pitch, and I'm sure you're going to do just great. And remember, mentoring is going to support you along the way. So please make sure to find a mentor who has that particular skill set to do with financial management. And one advice I give anywhere I speak around the world is on mentoring. One person cannot cater to all mentoring needs. If it's about finance, go after somebody with the finance capacity. If it's about network building and social influence, look for somebody in that domain. All right? So you have to go with the end in mind, and clear thinking will generate a clear result for you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. My God, so the clarity of thought you brought in when it comes to investment and how to do it. And the fact that you mentioned that people don't invest on friendship, but people invest on certain areas, those 4 areas that you mentioned. Brilliant. Thank you very much for the clarity of thought and that you shared today. Brilliant. So, okay, Dilushi is awesome. Thanks, Senela. So that was her feedback. Brilliant. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our talk show. So remember, ladies, self-love, ask for help when it's needed, and invest on yourself. Those are the 3 areas. So as long as you do it repeatedly, definitely you'll be able to make your dream into reality. I didn't say it. Today's our eminent guest, Senela. She's the one who said it. Thank you very much, Senela, for attending and then your contribution to this talk show, and it has been very valuable and very useful as well. My mother she did only O levels, but she knew the value of education, and she made sure that I go to university, college. So she was my mentor. She was like automatic mentor, right? So I'm so grateful. I love my father. Don't get me wrong, but my mother she was my mentor all the time. And I firmly believe we should not be having a Women's Day to celebrate. Women must be celebrated every day, every moment. Okay? So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure your sharing has definitely, it's going to be on our timeline, and then if later on people will come and watch it as well. Thank you so very much for joining us this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thanks so much for having me, Shivo.
You're welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. And then next week, we will be having another guest, and then we will definitely inform you Actually, next week is a New Year holiday. Week after, we'll have somebody coming and talking to all of us. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I wish all of you Subha Aluta Aluta. Happy New Year. Or in my language, Shubha Navavarsh. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.